Hi, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of writing poetry. This is just one set of ideas on how you can start from nothing and then create a poem of your dreams. So let me share my screen and we're going to pick up right where we left off yesterday. And here that is. So yesterday we had talked about these being the steps that you can follow to write a poem. Pick a topic you care about, do some journaling about it, reread your journal and look for parts that you like, underline them, possibly write more about those, write your 3x3s about your topic, attempt a first draft of your poem, and remember white space and poetry structure, and use blank lines when you want to leave space for ideas you don't have yet. And of course, always silence the critic in these initial stages of poetry, or really the initial stages of any kind of writing. You kind of just want to let everything pour out and have no critic telling you that it's not good enough, and then take a break from your poem. So hopefully you have done some writing and you have something to start with, and now we're going to be ready for the next day. So yesterday I told you I had started a poem called Quarantine Vibes. I kind of have the start of a draft here. You could see that there's 4 stanzas. It's just because my slide is in landscape, they're going to go like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let me just read to you what I have so far. Quarantine Vibes. Safe here at home, but no more brunch, no flights to Vegas, no lakefront trail, and I need one more that I didn't think of yet. This is what I mean by put a line to hold a space. Sleeping in late, but no students to smile at me, no teacher's lounge, jokes, or snacks. No, and I need something that happens after school. No dances, celebration, or promotion. Emergency BFF. I'm thankful, but no walks with friends, no Easter Sunday at church, no birthday parties, and I need one more idea. New puppy on the way, but no training classes and no dog parks, and I still need a couple more here. So what I want to teach you today is how to revise your first draft and make your poetry come alive with rhythm, imagery, and emotion. So to me, I think the best poems, and this isn't even just my words, these are Ralph Fletcher. Let me grab a book really quick. So Ralph Fletcher has written a lot of these great books. This one is called How Writers Work. He has one that is specifically all about poetry, which I don't think I have here at home. But in his book, All About Poetry, he talks about really great poetry having 3 amazing components. It has rhythm, or sounds, or flow. It has imagery, or pictures in the reader's mind. And it has emotional, it's touching heartstrings, whether it's joyful, happy emotions, or like kind of sad emotions. And that can kind of lead into the tone. So you might be thinking like, okay, great, Ms. Bresnick, but how do I do that? Well, I created this chart for you so we can kind of look at it. So first of all, 7th grade has been looking at this T Swift organizer where they're focusing on poetry's tone, structure, word choice, imagery, figurative language, and theme. So this shouldn't be very new. This should be, what you've all been doing in 7th grade, the T Swift. Now, figurative language, that opens up a door to simile, metaphor, allusion, symbolism, personification, and hyperbole. All of these and the 5 senses create imagery. So imagery is about the 5 senses, what things look like and sound like and, feel like, and etc. But imagery also is created by these figurative language options. Now, imagery is one part of good poetry, but rhythm is the second part. And rhythm is rhyme scheme, how the lines of the poems rhyme, and it's okay if they don't. It's also about repetition, so repeating things, and alliteration and onomatopoeia. And then emotion is just all of the feelings, like whatever the words are saying that are going to convey great feelings. So let's see what I already have in my poem here. You could see that I have poetry structure because I wrote into 4 stanzas, and each of my stanzas is following a pattern. I have 1 line and then 4, and then 1 line and then 4. So if I was going to come over here on structure, I have stanzas with 5 lines, and then line 1 is similar in each, and lines 2 to 4 are also similar. Okay, so I do have some poetry structure. What else do I have? I definitely have repetition because I'm saying no more this and no more that. Across the whole poem, I'm doing all of that repetition. So that goes with rhythm. So there is lines 2 to 4 of each stanza. Repeat how they begin. What else do I have? I have some emotions. I mean, it's like light emotion. I wouldn't say there's very, a ton of emotion, but you can see like all of the first lines are like positive toned vibes about quarantine, right? So thankful for my friend and the new puppy and the sleeping in late and the being safe. All of that is positive. And then I have all this negative stuff here. Now, no more brunch isn't the same as saying like, sitting at home alone and tears are dripping down my face into my plate of eggs. That's like way better emotion, you can see. So I would say there's a start to emotional feelings. Then, from what I can see so far, I don't really have anything in the figurative language category, which I'm definitely going to need. So you're definitely going to want to have something from imagery, and words are a way, that you could paint what you're trying to say. You want to have something from rhythm and something from emotion. So the first thing that I want to try to do, so basically now what you have to do is you have to work on revision. Revision, blah, 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 blah. Revision means taking what you already have there and kind of thinking about how you can make it better. So one thing that I'd really like to work on is allusion. For those of you who are watching who maybe haven't heard of allusion yet, allusion is like a reference to some other thing. Or it's like an inside joke that you might have with someone where you say these words and you're like referring to some story that maybe not everyone could get or they have to try to solve. So I was wondering how I could figure out an allusion to brunch. I mean, it's right there in the front. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to try and I'm going to use Google to help me. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to look up famous movies with brunch films. Or actually, no, famous brunch in movies. I don't even know if this makes sense. So 13 best movie breakfast spreads. Okay, I have seen some of these and right away I'm like, here, Groundhog Day. You guys know that movie Groundhog Day? If you don't know it, I mean, it's from when I was younger. You should definitely watch it. Quarantine could feel a lot like Groundhog Day. It's basically this guy gets trapped, and every day when he wakes up, the same thing happens to him. And his alarm beeps, beep, beep, beep. He wakes up, same thing. Beep, beep, beep. He wakes up, same thing. So I want to try to work in an allusion to Groundhog Day in here somehow. So here's what I want to teach you. It's okay, like poets don't just like have magical ideas like come over them. They can do some research. That's a strategy that you could take is you could go to Google and you could just Google famous whatever from movies or from life and then get an idea. So now that I have this idea, I'm wondering if I can add a final line like this. Okay, so Groundhog Day would be my allusion. So then, because the way that my poem is working, it repeats, I'm gonna go and add this. So this one is talking about, I can sleep in, but I don't have anything at school. So I wanna go back to sleeping in late, just Groundhog Day when I wake up. Okay, I don't love it, but it's a start, which is good. We can remember, don't let the critic come out. Emergency BFF, what can I say here? Just Groundhog Day, and I'm gonna include her name, me and Erica. And then new puppy on the way, just Groundhog Day but with the puppers. I don't know. I don't love it yet, but you can see now all of these just provided an allusion to something else. And maybe I want to even change this to Groundhog Day vibes. I don't know if I love it, but it is some revision. Basically, the best part of writing happens as you start crafting it and molding it with different ideas. So then here, I'm going to go on allusion and put Groundhog Day. Okay, now I'm wondering how I can get in a simile or a metaphor. So maybe let me go to the second stanza. Sleeping in late, but no students to smile at me, no teacher's lunch jokes or snacks, no dances, no celebration, or I'm gonna add traditional. Because there will be a promotion, it just like won't look like it typically has, right? So I don't wanna freak anyone out here. There's definitely gonna be a promotion. Okay, so sleeping in. I'm trying to think of some animal that would be sleeping a lot. Okay, bears, hibernation. Sleeping in like a bear on winter break. But, okay, again, don't know if I love it yet, but I've definitely made it better than just saying sleeping in. Okay, that's very literal. Now I have a little more figurative meaning. Sleeping in like a bear on winter break, but, and then I wonder if I could do something else with that animal, you know, throughout, make some jokes or make some references to it. But at least right now I have a simile comparison to a bear hibernating. So what I want to teach you is that beautiful poetry that has imagery and rhythm and emotion, it doesn't just come out of thin air. It's not like a magician, you just tap your wand and then the poetry. You have to like do research and you have to play around and you have to, ideally, I would show my poem to somebody and say, hey, what do you think? Did you notice any imagery, rhythm, or emotion? How could I make it better? That would be another way to help. But you can see that already my poem is taking on some more form and some better ideas. So kind of just to close, I wanted to teach you how to revise your first draft and make your poetry come alive. It's always going to focus on rhythm, imagery, and emotion, which you can find on this chart. You don't have to do all of them. You can pick some and, you know, skip others. That's totally fine. But your teachers will want to see that you have tried out to play around with words in some of these ways. So I'm going to end the video here now and just let you know that we'll really be looking forward to see the poems that you come up with. And really, when we say take 2 days, take 2 days. Write a first draft, do the journaling, do the 3x3s, write a first draft, okay? So that was kind of how I had started out. And then I actually went back into, I rewrote it here. And you can see when I started making some changes, even before I went on to technology. I don't know if you like that. Maybe you like being on technology. That's fine too. It's kind of just whatever your process is. But we're really looking forward to seeing your poems. We can't wait to see what you write about and what kind of figurative language and imagery and emotion and rhythm that you can create. So hope you have a great day. And if you have comments or questions, drop them below. And then that will help your teachers continue giving you feedback so you can make the best poetry possible. Hope everyone has a great day. Bye.